Alrighty. So, anyways, just I clicked see a couple times, but here we are. Everything Footy. We're back. I'm Anthony. This is Taco Dylan. Sorry. And then yeah, here we are. We're just gonna be talking about Champions League right now. I almost started playing California Girls for some reason because my phone just glitched. Here we go. We're gonna start with Champions League. We didn't stream last
Mm-hmm.
week. I think it's mainly my fault. I was out a lot last week, so I was recovering. And even today, we almost didn't stream this weekend just because of me.
But
Friday
it's
on a
all good.
bender. Friday was a bender. Yesterday was another bender, and I'm still recovering right now. But here we are. Here we are.
Yeah. No, it was good because I've probably caught up on actually watching a lot of teams in the last 2 weeks. So it's actually nice to be able to discuss the specific games in totality over the last 2 weeks. Because I mean, last week we were pretty much just gonna talk about Champions League, which is what we're gonna
Yeah,
start off with.
yeah. It
But
was basically just Champions League last week.
but since that we've had the champions of France, the champions of Germany, the champions of Italy, crowned, and we pretty much now know in the Portuguese league what's going to happen now with the results that just passed,
Yep.
which we'll get into as well. But we have a lot pretty much figured out for the season, so now we can fully discuss about those things. But again, we'll start off with Champions League for now. So
Yep.
right off the bat, from we were the last time we talked about this, we were mid, right? The first games just happened, right? We discussed what we thought beforehand. We
And
came
the
into it.
absolutely opposite of what we said happened. We
Yeah.
said it was going to be a Barca ante Atletico Madrid in the semis, and then we
Yeah.
also said Manchester City versus Arsenal,
Yeah.
and the worst of the worst happened.
Literally everything flipped on its head, which
Yeah,
is so funny. I mean, we would have got that Barcelona one right, but I feel like because they were in control the whole time. Yeah, they let those two goals slip in the first game. But to be honest, Barcelona looked better throughout the whole leg, and then they kind of got that, in my opinion, bullshit red card. It
yeah,
was
I
literally a
saw
shoulder
that,
to
and
shoulder.
yeah, like I don't understand why Arujo got that red card. It makes no sense, but
Yeah,
it is what it
and then
is, I
that changed
guess.
the whole game. Like I was watching
It
it, and
did,
it
and it was
just
in early on too. It happened at the 30th minute. So what
yeah.
can you do? 10 men for freaking 60 minutes, buddy.
Hmm.
That's rough.
Yeah, to be honest, that's all. That's like for that game analysis is pretty much that. It's Barca would have won that 100% if they didn't get the red, and because of that, PSG took over, played well, did what they had to do,
Yep.
and it was done.
Now
Now the one that
going,
surprised
yeah, Dortmund, eh?
Dortmund.
That's what I was just gonna
I
bring
mean,
up. That's freaking
like,
wild though. Like they,
what a great game.
okay, so they went from losing right
Yeah.
2-1. So they just needed either like a tie or whatever, right? So they tied it up
In
with
the
their first
first.
goal.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then they
yeah.
scored another goal in the 39th minute. It
Mm-hmm.
was Matson. First goal was Brandt. Okay.
Right, yeah.
So
And then
Matson got the lead. And then boom. Atletico Madrid scores Hummels. Or it was an own goal though from
own
Hummels.
goal, yeah, in
And
Korea.
then Correa, yeah. So they
Like,
took the lead again. And
yeah,
then Dortmund came with a shocker.
yeah.
71st minute, Fulkrug, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
scores. But I thought that was Hummels that scored that, but maybe it bounced off, or maybe it just didn't count. But anyways, yeah, he scored, and
Mm-hmm.
then and then 3 minutes later, boom, freaking Dortmund started
So,
winning.
yeah, Sabit,
Sapites,
Sabit,
Sabites. I don't know,
yeah.
but that's a freaking crazy game. Dortmund. honestly, congratulations. Good luck in your next game. But
Mm-hmm.
like, looking at the stats and everything. Excuse me. It's kind of crazy how they outperformed Atletico Madrid, and Atletico Madrid was just everywhere. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy part
And
is too,
Messi.
Atletico literally had almost 1.89 goal expectancy with 10 shots, but only three of those on target and getting two of those in.
Yeah.
Where Dortmund's over here only had 1.48 expected goals. They had 19 shots, nine on target, which is crazy. So the chances that Dortmund were taking, they were kind of like, farther
Well,
out,
they're just
risky, but it
they
paid
have
off.
to. They have to though,
Yeah, they
right?
had to.
All right. So now
I mean,
let's talk about freaking Arsenal and Bayern. What
yeah,
do you think about
yeah.
that? Like
I mean,
the first
it
game,
was kind of like standard
first game
after.
was like tough, you know, like it was a tie 2-2
Hmm.
and they performed well, but man, I was surprised. I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna be yawning a lot. I'm surprised that Bayern actually took it. I thought this game was gonna go to extra time and then into penalties.
Yeah.
The way that it was looking, like I felt like that was Arsenal's plan all along, like even against Porto. But
Hmm.
if you look at the stats again, Bayern was just all over Arsenal that game, and Arsenal was just in shambles.
Yeah. In the first half, Arsenal was playing, I would say, decent. Like they looked like they were still trying to fight for it. And then I don't know, it's like they came out in the second half, and I think that's when the plan really became bunker down and bring it to extra time. And they haven't been like that all season,
Yeah,
other than Porto probably, right? In the competitions. And I just don't think that's like their DNA. That's not their team, right? And Bayern took that, right? Took that extra space and eventually got that goal, right? With the Rafael Guerrero headed assist over to Kimmich and put in the back of the net. Yeah. And then Bayern did what they did. They got the lead. They played good football. They played, a little more well, not right away. Like they still were like on the attack, but then they kind of slowed down and both teams just petered out the game. It just ended. Bayern, that's the experience you have. Again, I believe if Arsenal actually came out fully firing, fully trying to go for that win, they would have got that win. The problem for
they
me
would have,
wasn't the fact
yes.
that the problem for me is that our prediction of Arsenal going through would have been if they played the way they've been playing.
Hmm.
And I've seen this already last year too, right? When Arsenal came and faced Sporting and they tied and then went and then they got scored on by half by Pedro Gonzalez 1-0. It was the exact same story, right? It was like they played good in the first leg because they're kind of not worried, and then in the second leg they just don't play anything. And even that first game where they were like, yeah, they tied, right? They had good chances, but they just didn't take them. And now I feel like they didn't take it this time.
Yep.
And I think that's just because of a young team. With more experience, they'll play better.
It is what it is. Like for their ever since that happened, like they went from lose like they lost, got left to the Champions League, right?
Hmm.
Right after that, they lost to Austin Villa 2-0.
Yeah.
So something's going on there. I don't know what it is. Maybe ever since that loss in the Champions League, like they probably thought they're gonna win the league and Champions League, but we'll see.
Hmm.
I like what Arteta is doing with Arsenal. They're still a young team. They can do a lot with it. So I think next year they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with for sure. Like today, like
Hmm.
this year was just like a little taste. But yeah,
Yeah.
but now
Yeah.
going over to the City versus Real Madrid game. This
Yeah. This was the big one.
this was a tough game. I watched this game. I actually made it home in time to watch it. And buddy,
It was a good game.
buddy,
It was a good game.
City. Honestly, like my City should have won.
100% though. Yeah, they were on top of them, and even all
It was just
especially.
unlucky, and it is what it is. It's football. Whoever scores gets to win, obviously, right?
Hmm.
But man, I'm looking at the stats right now, and I remember watching the game, and I was just like, man, like Real Madrid is playing like they don't even know how to play soccer anymore.
Yeah, like
Like it
I
was
was kind
so
of
bad.
surprised.
They couldn't hold on to the ball. They couldn't do anything. Now, if you look here, ball possession 67%,
Hmm.
33% for Real. Expected goals 2.74 for
Yeah,
City, and they had 33 shots.
which is insane.
33
Like,
shots and 9 on target. Like they were taking lots of shots, but it it was insane.
do you think that because of the players that played, right, and Holland being shut down, and then it was more players like Bernardo and Bruno and De Bruyne, sorry, having to take the shots, and Grealish was doing his thing, Foden was doing his thing, but they were kind of like because of the way Real hunkered down, they really were making them force those long shots. I mean, De Bruyne ended up getting that goal, right? But they
Yes,
weren't letting him really shoot either, and it just created that tough thing where again City was on the ball, they were on the front foot, they were creating, they're passing back and forth, but they don't have the clear cut chance. And Holland's just being bunkered down by Rudiger. Rudiger played great. Lunin and Net made a bunch of good saves as well. I mean, he had the highest rating on the football app even. Like he played really, really well
he did.
in that game.
But like you can go back. Like I'm on the FootMob website right now, and it shows you like a lot of stuff. Like this is way better than the app.
Hmm.
And I remember seeing Haaland right here. He hit the freaking crossbar with his header. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's
Like
yeah.
imagine if he got that in. You know, they had a lot of other shots too that like just missed or just got saved or whatever, right? Like Haaland here saved from a corner. It was another header. Like it's kind of insane how Lunin really stepped up this game. And I know that Real Madrid were looking for other goalkeepers to replace him since Courtois is
Yeah.
injured. He's out until whenever he can come back from his injury because he just got surgery. Uh, the Chelsea goalie, I can't even say his name, is injured as well.
Hmm.
And they bought him just because Courtois was injured, and then he got injured, and now they're on their third string. Oh my god, I can't freaking talk. Their third string goalie, right?
Yeah.
And he freaking popped off. And then we go, let's go to the freaking penalties here, right?
Yeah. The penalties was interesting.
The It was all mind games. That's what I'm saying. Because if you look at it, so first pen goes in, all right. Julian Alvarez scores. Modric
Yeah.
steps up to the plate, gets it saved.
Yeah.
He
At
was
that point, I'm
angry.
thinking City already won.
Yeah, he was mad, and he kicked the ball into the stands.
Hmm.
And then Silva comes up.
Yeah, my favorite player.
Silva goes up looking for the ball. He's like, "Where the fuck is the ball?" The ref is looking around, where the ball, and then the the fans started like throwing down the ball. They waited because they didn't have another ball, right?
Which is so
And
weird.
then that is when the mind game started happening. Maybe Lunin was saying stuff to Silva, or Silva is just like it's a lot of pressure stepping up to the plate when you're taking a pen,
Yeah, and he's
right?
overthinking it because he
And
doesn't have a ball.
yeah,
I don't
and
know.
now that he doesn't have a ball, it's taking longer for him to shoot. He was overthinking everything, and then he rushed it right when the whistle blew. He didn't wait a little bit. He just went straight for it and did the weakest shot straight down the middle.
You know why though? I actually was watching a video, and I think it was the FA Cup final when it went to penalties too. I don't know if this was, I think this was against United. It might have been last year or the year before. I can't remember. But Bernardo Silva usually doesn't take pens, and he was on pens. And when he was on pens in that final, he also put the ball down the middle.
Yeah.
They're saying that in the important moments, that's what he just puts it down the middle to get the goal. And then I don't know if you saw, but there was a camera on Rudiger that was on the bench, and and before the penalties were taken, he went up to Lunin and was like whispering in his ear. And if you remember, obviously Rudiger played for Chelsea,
Yeah.
Kovacic next, and he points. You can see it. He talks to him, but he also points inside of
Where they
the
place
wall
it.
to
Yeah.
go where it's going, and then he saves it. And then once the two saves, I was like, of course.
Well,
Um,
the thing is though, like the Silva one was horrible.
it was bad, yeah.
Like I like there's no power between it. It wasn't even like a little chip. You can see Lunin didn't even like flinch. He just like, oh, thank you. But he just
Yeah.
grabbed it, you know. The Kokovic one was just unlucky. It was a good save from Lunin, so I'll give him props because
Mm-hmm.
like it was nice, and then like it was just unlucky at the end of it when Rudiger finished us off. Um,
Yeah. My analysis is pretty much that between Lunin and Rudiger, those two people won the game for City
yeah,
or for Real. Rudiger was absolutely amazing, absolutely shut down Holland. Made some good saves and blocks. Goalie made good saves and blocks. It was a great defensive play from them. To be honest, and yeah, but just seeing that extra clip and stuff, and yeah, for me, Rudiger was probably man of the match, just because of his defensive performance.
all right. So let's see. What do you think about who's gonna go next now? Like, let's do our predictions.
Yeah,
Um, after seeing Real play like that, it's hard to say that they'll make it through again. But they're against Bayern. I think they're gonna really step it up. But now this is a big thing. This is like brother against brother. Bellingham and Musala, because they grew up playing with each other. They were like best buds. All
mm-hmm.
right, it's like brother against brother, brother from another mother. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be tough. I think Real Madrid will actually make it through, just because. Yeah, right here. Look, if you click on Bayern Munich, let me see if I can bring this here. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's also gonna
So
be big that Real get the second leg,
okay, so
right?
here you see Bayern Munich only has Bonassar that's out. Okay, I don't even know who this guy is. Mosala is actually out. He just got out with a tendon injury.
Mm-hmm.
Koeman's out with a groin injury. Will come back
Yeah,
mid-May. Leimer sprained ankle. Sane groin injury a few days. He might be
yeah,
back. Delit is injured as well mid-June. Like they have a lot of injury. Nabry as well. Buchanan, not Buchanan. Buchman. Okay, Buchman. Like they have a lot of people that are out, and the only person that's out for Real Madrid is Carvajal because he's suspended,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, looking at it right now, like
So
literally Guerrero is playing mid or left wing right now. Um, Kimmich got returned back to right back because of the injury. Lamer's playing in. Choupo-Moting's in with King, two slow strikers. Muller's playing like the right side. Dyer's playing in the back. Like these are players like Dyer. If Dyer's your center back, I mean, you're looking at
yeah,
that thinking, okay, there's no way like they're gonna play well. But they have won, I mean, their last four games with all these injuries. But again, there are smaller teams in the Bundesliga. Um, for me, like Bayern know how to play well even with injuries, but I just don't think they're going to be able to stop Real Madrid because I don't think Real Madrid's going to do what they did against City. I don't because the thing is now you don't even have the pace on the wings hurting you. You don't have
yeah.
like the quick, amazing. passes that City have. Again, you're having slower players. You're having Muller, Choupo-Moting, and Guerrero with Kane. Like those players don't scare you on the attack or in a counter attack, and they're all slow. Like pretty much their fastest player is probably Goretzka in that line. Like literally, again, you're thinking of Kimmich slower, De Ligt,
Yeah.
pretty big guy. Dyer's slow. Mazarawi's not too fast, but he's not too slow either. This is gonna be a very like slow build up pass from the back and make your way up kind of team. And I think Real's just gonna eat them up. And I think they're gonna play City way against them. They're gonna be on the front foot attacking them. And yeah, I just don't see this team.
Really.
Bayern Munich's going to be forced to counterattack,
Yeah.
and I don't see them counterattacking or doing anything good. I see them only scoring from set pieces, pretty much with the taller players. Um, and yeah, that's really it. I think Bayern's done good to get to this point, to be honest, because I don't think they've been good all season. They're very been like their form's been up and down kind of thing. So fair play to them, but this is where they're definitely going to exit out.
To be honest, I think it's gonna be a close game. I feel like Bayern's gonna put everything that they have in the Champions League right now since they didn't win the title, so they have to win
Yeah,
something, right? So I think
yeah,
it's gonna be tough for them. Um, like I think they're gonna come in here with a bit like a lot of morale just to start off. Like they're gonna get nervous, but I think they're gonna do it. And I think the same thing with Real Madrid. Like it could go either or. I do see Real Madrid making it through, but at the same time, we could be wrong. Like look at what we just witnessed, right? Now
yeah. I mean,
against
for me, Real's like they're pretty much gonna win La Liga. I mean, like, I know we were gonna talk about the winners, but with the point difference, like they're about to win La Liga probably like next week already.
yeah, but
So, like, I don't think they're worried. I think they're
they're
gonna be
not.
putting everything in. They don't have injuries.
No, no, they're. But that's also a thing. Like I feel like after last match, it's either gonna hit them two different ways. One way would be they're upset, they want to play better, and they're gonna start playing better, or they're frustrated and it's still in their head that they can't play like they used to. You know what I mean? It depends on how
Well, I was
Bayern.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah, but it depends on how Bayern interrupts them in the game. Like yeah, they're more laid back, but look at how Real Madrid just stood back, kind of parked the bus, and defended off City for the whole entire game. That could be the
Hmm.
exact same way Bayern could be doing that to Real. We won't know. I do think Real Madrid is gonna go through anyways. Um,
Hmm.
Now for Dortmund and PSG, I obviously I think it's gonna be PSG, and this honestly could be a PSG and Real Madrid final or a PSG Bayern final. I think PSG is gonna go through either way. I don't see Dortmund getting out of this one unless PSG really fumbles the bag. But yeah, and this could really be PSG's first UCL.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's like
it's all
they
for
always
nothing.
say, especially in Champions League, like storylines get there's always these weird storylines that get written, and I've been seeing the one of like, oh, after all these years, after he stayed, after everything, he actually does win them the UCL, delivers his promise to PSG. Here's your stupid trophy. Fuck off. I'm going to Madrid
Yeah,
and I'm going to go win the rest of my trophies with them. It'd be kind of fitting in a weird way, but at the same time, part of me is thinking, fuck winning it with PSG. Just go to Real next year. Real can win it and say, hey, you've been in two finals with that team. You stayed. You never win. You're never going to win with them. Come over here and win some UCLs. And then
yeah,
he absolutely demolishes.
I could see that.
It's a, it's funny.
It's
I don't
gonna
know.
be
Like
nice.
it could work. But to be honest, after seeing that Dortmund, if that Dortmund that played in the second leg goes to PSG, that's a team that can beat PSG. Because again, PSG's no amazing team either. Yeah, they won the French league, but they won the like they literally tied yesterday to Le Havre. I'm pretty sure this wasn't a team that was in the French League 2, right? At home, they tied. And that was only because Gonzalo Ramos scored a 95th minute goal, or else they were going to lose that. They only won because another Monaco lost their game today, which is why the reason they won got the French League. Before this, yes, they beat Barcelona again with a man down all game. They beat Lyon, but this isn't the same Lyon. Again, this is with a washed up
Yeah, yeah.
Lacazette up front. Um, like this, I don't know. PSG just never are convincing to me, to be honest. Tied Clermont Foot, only beat Rennes 1-0 in the Coupe de France. Yeah, Marseille's really bad now. Montpellier 6-2 was convincing. Tied Rennes again. Tied Monaco 0-0. Tied Rennes or Rennes, and then there's Rems. Right? They beat Real Sociedad in the Champions League. Again, Real Sociedad's not a good team. Benfica came up against them. They weren't amazing, but they beat them only 2-1 and then 2-0. Again, wasn't crazy convincing to me. All their wins, like just looking at here, right? There's a lot of green, like there's a lot of wins, but they're all against smaller, really smaller teams compared to them. Again, the French league's not amazing. They already tied. Actually, that's right. Sorry. W- Um, they had them in their group, Dortmund. Yeah, they had Dortmund in their group,
Yeah.
and Dortmund came ahead of them. Dortmund came out first in the group. That's right. Oh, that's a whole other. Like I completely forgot about that. When Dortmund was at home, they tied 1-1. And then at home, PSG did win 2-0. But again, I would also argue this is when Dortmund was at the beginning of the season playing terribly. They're definitely playing a lot better now. This isn't the same Dortmund. And they still only beat them by that home advantage. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they tied 1-1, yeah.
And then they beat them 2-0, right? And again, if you're looking at Dortmund's thing, they have a lot of green too. They have like I'd say they're pretty much like PSG right now. They have a lot more ties. Two of those were in club friendlies though, so I'm not gonna count those as much. Again, I'm not saying that PSG should be winning this, right? At the end of the day, they should be.
They should be, but we never know. Hey, this Champions League is like really interesting, right? Like, I feel like Madrid could lose, Bayern goes through, Dortmund beats PSG somehow, and
How
Dortmund
would that
beats
be?
Bayern.
How weird would that be? Leverkusen win the league, and somehow Dortmund and Bayern, the teams that failed to win the league, that should be winning the league, make it to a
Yeah,
Champions League final. How weird of a final that would be.
because right now Dortmund is not even gonna make Champions League next year. They're in Europa League.
Unless they win, don't they qualify if they win?
Yeah, unless they win.
Yeah,
So
that'd be funny.
that's gonna be the big thing right now because they're in
That'd be
fifth
such a
in their
weird
league.
Champions League. A
So
Dortmund win?
yeah.
Crazy.
So let's see. Alrighty.
Yeah.
So now let's go to the Premier League.
Little race.
Let's do our little title race here, which is fucking
Yeah.
insane.
I want to go team by team
Team by
instead of just
team.
listing it out. I wanna quickly just go team by team here,
Well,
right?
first here's the. This is what it looks like. I'm just gonna put it onto our screen here, so everybody
Yeah.
can see. So Arsenal is in first right now with 80 points. Lacking
Mm-hmm.
behind with just 1 point down is City. Then there's
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool, then Aston Villa, and Tottenham Hotspur's fifth. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Last time we talked,
last time we
this,
talked,
this table was different. This table was different,
it was pretty sure
right?
wasn't Liverpool first.
Liverpool. And what? Yes, Liverpool was first. And
Yeah,
what did I say? I said right away, it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool drops off, and it becomes more of like an Arsenal, right?
yeah,
So literally the next day, they go and lose 1-0 at Crystal Palace. I was
yep,
watching that game.
yep.
Right? Then they go after those Champions League games, and I'm watching them against. Atalanta. They lose to Atalanta. Well, they
Oh,
won the game 1-0, but
in Europa.
they in Europa.
Yeah,
Then it hits Sunday again. They do beat Fulham this
yeah,
time,
3-1.
3-1 away, and I was like, okay, they
Cool.
lost, but they came back.
They
Not
could, they
not bad
could, they
from
could
them.
do, they could get back into the race, right? They could.
Right, yeah, they're not in the Europa League.
They
They don't
weren't.
have to think
Yeah,
about it. It's not that like, Liverpool shouldn't be really caring about Europa Liga. And then of all clubs,
they lost to Everton,
Everton.
and Everton, by the way, is in 15th,
Yeah.
and Crystal Palace is only 14th, and they lost to those clubs.
And then
Same.
again, like they literally tied West Ham today,
Yep. It was yesterday.
yesterday, sorry. And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, okay, they still have to face Tottenham next, right? Everybody faces Tottenham, which is funny in the title race. So Arsenal just finished beating them. City still have to play them. Liverpool play them, and I think another team still plays them. Aston Villa or like Tottenham face everybody right at the end, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But the team that's playing really really good right now, Aston Villa. Um, which Aston Villa also just came off of um 2-2, but beating Arsenal, which we'll talk about too, because that
Well,
ended up happening.
first of all, you
They
gotta.
still have to face Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Tottenham, Aston Villa, and then Wolves. Like Liverpool's
Liverpool is
out.
out. Yeah, they're out of the race. Right. And right now, you gotta remember, the real person that's in first, if they don't lose, is City,
Is Man City? Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're a game down. City only
So
played
that's why.
34 games. Arsenal is in first, and they played 35 games. And Arsenal is only ahead by 1 point.
Yeah.
And right now, like City's on a huge win streak. Um, their next game is against Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Wolves. Um, I can't check the games after that though. I don't know where to go on this computer here.
No worries. Because I was actually getting into Arsenal. So that was going to be the main thing is that first loss that Liverpool get the next day after our last stream. Arsenal also go and lose to that Aston Villa I was talking about,
Yes,
and I say
that
that
was
makes the
big.
big difference.
It was
That's the
it
big
was the big
difference
difference. Yeah,
because it was the next game. I was already hyped. Okay, and then they lost to Bayern. I'm like, okay, that's good because they might lose
they're in shambles.
confidence, but they also gonna focus, right? They go and they beat Wolves. They go and they whoop
Chelsea's
Chelsea five
ass.
nothing.
Yeah.
And now today, I was
Now
watching the game and
today
it was
they were
3-8.
sweating. They were
Today they
sweating
were sweating. They were
because
sweating,
Tottenham was making a comeback, and
and they
I'm
were
pretty
playing good.
sure, and I'm pretty sure Tottenham tied it up. But then after they took it away, I am positive that happened. Right?
Well, Van der Ven also scored at the beginning. VAR ruled it out. There was a penalty shout early
Yeah, right
on.
there.
For Arsenal though, was it Arsenal? I don't know. There was a few. I think there was a few shouts, a few points. But
Well,
this North London derby did not disappoint. I mean, Arsenal played very, very good at the beginning, in the first half, and I thought, okay, they're gonna absolutely tear through and win this. And Tottenham definitely made a good comeback. I actually had that weird feeling after Son scored that second one that like it was gonna be like a 95th,
yeah, like
top.
it's something. Yeah.
But Arsenal pulled through, which good for them. Again,
If
could
they
have been
lost
controversial.
that, or
Could have
if they
won,
tied
but
it would have been game
would
over.
have
They're
been
not
over.
catching up because City. I know City's not going to be losing any games from here on out
Yeah, and
unless
that's
something
the
happens.
thing for
But
me. So that's how I'm feeling right now. Is that as a City supporter, am I still a bit nervous? I guess so, but I still feel as if you're looking, like I said, at Arsenal and Liverpool, I said there's going to be dropped points. And Man City always finish strong. They drop points immediately, and that's all they needed was to lose one game. I said, right? If they Arsenal lose one game, it's over. Now, if City win the rest, they're winning the league no matter what. And I don't see them dropping points, so I already feel strong. And then on top of that, knowing that Arsenal still have to face Man United at home. Again, Man United, they can beat them at home 100%, but Man United's that weird wild card where they can win
Yeah.
against an
Because
Arsenal.
right
They could
now
lose
they
bad.
haven't lost a game in a while. They tied
Yeah.
Liverpool. They tied Bournemouth. They tied Calvary City or whatever. And then
Hmm.
they tied or no, they beat Sheffield.
Yeah.
And then they tied Burnley.
It's so funny.
It it is what it is, but like they they're a force to be reckoned with right now because they're actually holding their ground.
And to be fair, man, you played really well against Chelsea until Cole Palmer just decided to do this thing, right? That
Yeah.
we spoke about last time. But even then, again, if you don't take that loss into account, right? Because they did, Cole Palmer did his thing, but if they didn't lose that game, that's like five ties, and then they beat, yeah, Liverpool, they beat Everton, they lost to City, won against Nottingham, lost to Fulham, which was weird, but then it was win, 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 tie, win. Like they, if you actually look at it, Man U's like in a weird form, but they're not losing a lot of games. So again, I'm not even saying that Man U have to win, but if they just drop the points and tie, right? If Man U get that
Yeah.
tie against Arsenal, in my opinion, it's over. Like it's gonna be done. Because for me, I don't see City losing a game. I see them winning every game. And even if something does happen, maybe it's gonna be a tie. It's gonna be a mess up like the last minute header. They're playing defensive,
Yeah.
whatever. They tie. But I just think Arsenal are also gonna like lose or tie or something else is gonna happen. So and with City being a game behind right now, I don't know. I think to be honest, because the table right now, so if City win, they're 2 points above. So if Arsenal even tie, that's then becomes like a 3 point
Mm-hmm.
difference, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be or only a 1 point off. If City win, they go to 82. Arsenal, yeah, but that's that. I'm thinking of if it's the same games, yeah. So they would have the 3 point on them. Um. So yeah, no, I think point at this point, it's going to be very tough. Very, very tough, I
It's looking
think, for
spicy.
Arsenal. Because
It's
like,
looking
it does,
spicy.
again, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just to finish off,
It's looking
Arsenal
spicy.
can win every game.
It's looking spicy.
Man City can win every game. Man City's still winning the league. And I just see Man City winning every
It's
game. So
looking
that's pretty much it
spicy.
with that.
Yeah. I mean, City's gonna win the league. That's all I gotta
Inevitable.
say. Unless they lose a game somehow, they
They're
then
not they're not losing against Wolves at home,
no.
right? They're not going to lose against Fulham.
Oh, here
The
we go.
only game, the
Tottenham.
only game
Yeah.
is Tottenham away.
Well, yeah. It's Tottenham. Even West Ham maybe. You never know.
West Ham at West Ham, maybe. West Ham
No,
at City's ground, no.
yeah. That's the only thing. But I'm pretty sure every single time City faced West Ham, they just destroyed them. So
Yeah, I think again, but City have that poor record at Tottenham Stadium, so I'm saying that I don't see them losing a game, right? Because I do think because Tottenham faces every big team back to back to back to back, and I've seen them not play amazing other than today, the second half, that comeback. Um, Yeah, but they just keep losing anyways. Like even if they play good, they still lose. I feel like they face Chelsea next. Like Newcastle whooped them, right, 4-0 as well. Fulham has beaten them recently 4-0. And then but then this is the weird thing is like a good team like Aston Villa that's fourth at home, they beat them 4-0. Tottenham, right? So
yeah.
they have those weird games in them. Um, but last time City faced them FA Cup, beat them 1-0. They tied United. Like they
So
actually play well against
I
the
mean,
big
the
teams.
last time they played against City, City beat Tottenham when Tottenham's at home in the FA Cup, one
Yeah,
nothing.
but before that they tied 3-3
Yeah.
the game
So
before.
it's gonna be a hit or miss. That's gonna be the biggest game to decide who wins the league, I find.
Tottenham also tied
But
Arsenal in September and beat Liverpool. They beat Man United. Like it's so weird. They lose against small teams but win against big or they yeah, win or tie against the big ones. So
yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Right now, like it depends on Tottenham and the United game, right? So we're gonna see. I can't say who's gonna win. I obviously I want City to win. I think City will win, but you never know. You never know. We could just lose to not like maybe we won't lose to what you might call it Tottenham, but maybe we'll lose to Fulham randomly or randomly to Wolves. You never know.
well disciplined team, Wolves defensive team, hold them to a tie, you know.
Like
I don't see it, but
I mean, it's soccer, right? Look what happened to City in Champions League.
yeah.
So it's football,
I mean
caralho.
yeah. Other than that, yeah, I mean we already hit on the fact that Leverkusen won the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, the craziest thing, they literally have now won or tied a game, right? Like, no, they've now done 6 times in a row in losing positions, have scored in like the 90 plus minute to tie it, to keep their unbeaten run of almost 40 now, which is absolute insanity. Like I like it's starting to border on like almost like you're starting to think of like if this is rigged, like what's going on? How come they literally keep scoring in the 95th minute every time they're losing to somehow? Even Europa League did it, came back and won the game to keep moving forward. Like it's absolutely insane. But I'm glad to see them playing well. I mean, Xabi Alonso's already pretty much out of the club. You know, he's gonna be looking places. Um, Sporting manager took a meeting with the West Ham. Liverpool's looking at the sporting manager.
Yeah, everybody's looking at him right now.
Jose's still open. Klopp's gonna go somewhere. Like Ancelotti, not Ancelotti, sorry, Antonio Conte. I've heard rumor that he might be going somewhere as well. Um, like I think there's going to be a giant rotation over the summer, especially with the Euros coming up,
Yeah,
and a lot of transfers, right? Because after the Euros, we're going to see teams absolutely
we're gonna
splash clash.
we're gonna see a lot of managers moving around, and then we're also gonna see a lot of players because once those managers move around, they're gonna want certain players, right?
Hmm.
So that's gonna be nice. So now we're in the Portuguese Liga. Some
Wait, wait, there's
big
one more.
what?
Italian league. We talked about Germany winning.
Oh,
We talked well, earlier. We talked about France too. We did PSG, whatever. They got that 3-3 tie. They won because Monaco. And now, just quickly, the Milan derby was nuts.
it
Three
was
red cards,
two,
2-1.
two, two on to fucking Inter,
Mm-hmm.
one on AC. Inter won that game and won the cup with 9 men.
No, no, no. Sorry.
Yeah,
AC got the 2 red cards.
I thought it was Inter. I swear it was Inter.
No, no, no. Because the once the game was lost, AC lost their heads and they got 2 red cards.
Really? I swear it was Inter. I'm
Oh
checking
wait,
now.
yeah, no, Dumfries. Dumfries got a red. It's not even showing me who got the second red. Hernandez got a red. Oh, Caballero on AC. The right back and the left back
Oh, it
both get a
was
red.
AC. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this game. I was driving home though, so my dad had my phone watching it on the app Fubu, and I remember seeing who was it? Was it Theo's red card? I'm thinking one of them the red cards didn't make any sense. I was kind of
Really?
yeah, but I know one. I can't remember who. I think it was Calabria, Calabria is like his red card like stood like he literally punched the guy in the face like he like whipped it
Hmm.
around and whatever. So maybe it was Theo's. I don't remember. Um, or maybe I'm just thinking. Oh yeah, Theo's was just another bucking because he already had a yellow, so that's why.
Okay.
So never mind. I thought maybe it was just a straight red card. I remember seeing it. I'm like, man, that's not a straight red. But I didn't know he had a yellow card earlier in the game because I only started watching around. When was it? I think around here, like just before AC Milan scored. Yeah, just before. 'Cause I remember watching the Tomori goal. But yeah, that game was insane. The Milan Derby, and to decide who wins the league is actually insane, right? Like
Yeah.
that's why it got into a big fight. Like imagine that happening with Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and
Yeah,
it
to
would
decide.
decide on who to win, like who wins the league. Like that would be nuts. Or even like
Yeah.
Benfica Porto, or even Benfica Sporting. You know,
Hmm.
that would be nuts. Well, honestly, good job for Inter. I'm more of a AC Milan fan than Inter. Uh,
Yeah, same.
I like Juventus as well. So I like it always goes like Juventus, AC, and then I had a special place in the heart for Roma since
Hmm.
Mourinho was there,
Hmm.
but now they're gone, so I don't really follow them that much anymore. But it is what it is. Do you want to talk about the Portuguese league now, or
Yeah, yeah.
all right?
So this weekend was pretty good, right? We had the big four clubs facing each other, right? With Benfica, Braga, Sporting, and Porto.
Yeah, so we'll
So it was
start
a
with
big
the
weekend.
Benfica Braga.
Yep.
Um, you guys won 3-1. Braga got a red card,
Yeah.
89th minute, which is kind of nuts. I didn't see the game. What do you say? Like, was it like a straight red or what?
Um,
So it doesn't look
like
like
the
it looked like it's a
challenge
straight
wasn't
red.
good. It was a straight red. The challenge wasn't good, but like it was one of those challenges. Like it could have been a red, could have not been. You know,
Yeah.
like he could have probably the ref could have probably gave a yellow for that. Um, for me, this game was interesting because Benfica was actually the one like Horta scored off the 28th minute played, and Braga was playing pretty solid. Um, and we actually weren't looking too good. I mean, we had Cabral on, and he wasn't really doing too much. We started João Mario. He wasn't really doing too much. We had a bunch of shots, and they just weren't doing anything. Again, it, it it was one of those games that were like a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
because
feel
like we
like it
were on
was because
top.
like, you guys only started winning at the end of the game.
Yeah,
Like Neres scored on the 85th minute, and then Leonardo scored in the 90th, which just
yeah.
secured everything, right?
Yeah,
And
because even like the momentum chart on FootMob, like everything's pretty much Benfica, other than like when they got the two good chances back to back and then scored their goal.
hmm
We had 1.4 expected goals, 22 shots, six on target. This is where Braga, right? Like that sounds pretty good for us, but I mean Braga still did their thing. One expected goal, 11 shots, but seven of them on target. So they were being more clinical with their chances, right? Taking what they had from the set pieces. Banza being their striker. I've always remembered this guy from when he was even at like Macau, I think, or whatever, and he was always a good player.
from Milico.
Tall, and he was looking pretty decent out there. I was actually gonna go to the game, funny enough. I was gonna buy tickets, but stadium empty, and the minimum ticket was 40 euros for the public, and I was like, I thought, you know what, with the way we're playing, I wasn't sure. It ended up being a good game, but. Yeah, for me, my biggest thing is Cabral's not amazing,
hmm
right? He's kind of like that Lukaku style, right? Um, and he just doesn't fit the system. That other guy that we play with the blonde hair at striker that we played at the for striker during Europa League, all the important matches, the guy that can't score or do really anything, can't make runs in behind. I don't know why we keep playing him. I've been saying for a long time. I don't know. Like, I don't think he's a striker. I don't think he plays like a striker. And that we were better off with Marcus Leonardo. And I was saying that in this game, literally gets subbed on right away, corner.
Scored 2 goals.
Again, João Mario. João Mario tries some freaking long shot again for the 15th time in the game, gets blocked. And this exact same, which is so funny, right? Exact same situation happened just before this, and it went to Cabral, and Cabral shot it, and it got blocked and went out. Marcus Leonardo, same situation, literally right outside the box. He tries to hits the player, deflects straight to him in his path, and just like turns and shoots with the left foot as he's falling back, way harder than the Cabral chance, and it goes perfect posting in. And I
Beauty.
say that's a real striker. He
Yeah.
knows how to finish. He's quick on his feet. He's in good positions. Like, I don't know why Schmidt isn't starting this guy every single game. It makes no sense to me.
It's
Um
always behind the scenes, you know. There's always lots of stuff behind the scenes that we don't know, and that's the
well
thing
this
that kind of pisses us off because like we know these
yeah.
players are good players. We know that they're like a natural born talent for like you say that he should be the striker, which he should be, and
Mhm.
they I don't know. It's just like how Mourinho had that one like era where he always ruined a player. You know what I mean? Like he'll
Mm.
just bench that world class player and then they just fall apart.
It's funny that you mention Mourinho because literally like that's like I was saying like talking about how Mourinho might take over Benfica, take
Right.
over Benfica. I'll get into that in a second. But my the whole thing is like, because even when I was talking about it with my dad today, right? And I was saying if Mourinho came in, even if we got him for that year, he always plays amazing the first year, and maybe he'll win us something. But then like just
The
right now,
long
you saying
run,
that, sorry,
like the long run, he
yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't hold on. I don't find like I
But
think
that's how I'm feeling about
the first two
Schmidt.
years is good,
Yeah,
but I feel like that's
but
every
that's how I'm feeling about Schmidt because Schmidt came in
you guys won the
and just
league.
played amazing, transformed the players. The style of play was great. Like last year, I went to like I think probably 25 plus games. I seen the way they played. Arsens was all over, always played well no matter where. Grimaldo with the overlaps, Otamendi, Silva, Neves bringing him in was absolutely amazing, and then having that like Di Maria, or not last year had Di Maria, now we do, and it was good, right? But last year having Neres, Rafa, Gonzalo Ramos, and like just the way everything moved and was just beautiful. Like it was just beautiful football. And then this year we get players in like Di Maria, and obviously we lose like Grimaldo, and we lose Lacademos, and we lose. And this is the thing that I find weird now because we don't have good strikers, but we get rid of like a Musa to the MLS. We get rid of an Enrico Rujo to another Portuguese team. Again, Enzo was already replaced. We bring in a guy Koshu, which I think is even better than Enzo if he actually played. But
Hmm.
he brings him in from the Turkish league, and then he benches him. He wanted him because he got like Coach Shu's one of those players that got like I don't know, probably like double figures for goals and assists in the Turkish league, and then got the player for the Turkish league, and then we don't play him in that cam position,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't make sense. Rafa's fast, but I understand Di Maria is great at crossing, so we put him out and he just crosses and Di Maria does his thing, and Neres is really good on the right, but Rafa playing in the middle and that overlaps Cabral, it just like it works for some games, but most of the time he doesn't make that fast run. So we have Rafa playing in the middle for no reason, just because he can dribble and stuff. Play Shu there, right? And then rotate the wingers when they get tired. Again,
You
we
have
have
to. You have to do
well,
that.
Di Maria gets tired, man. He gets
Yeah.
tired, so it only makes sense. It actually makes sense to play Di Maria for the first like 60 something minutes, put Rafa on with fresh legs, and he's super pacey, and then like and rotate the wingers. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Even when Neres was injured, again we get Jamal Mario, which is slow. He's not had a good year, but now he's getting still played like decently often. I don't like for me there's a lot of problems and the I was watching a whole video on Schmidt and the things that he did last year great with like changing players, replacing Enzo, replacing players, adapting to teams. He's not doing any of that this year. He's not adapting. We're playing the exact same people, the exact same style, the exact same substitutions at the exact same times. It's so predictable. Any team knows what we're going to do before we go in. And that's why we have struggled. And then we lose to Sporting because they actually know what we're doing and then adapt and do it. That's
Yeah.
why Porto, even though they play poor, slapped us 5-0 because they knew what they were going to go do in Porto. And then they just absolutely demolished. It works against these small teams. It works against even a Braga because we have individual talent. But if Marcus Leonardo didn't come on and he stuck to his substitutions he normally did,
Yeah, you guys
and
probably would have lost.
we would have lost that game
Yeah.
100%, right? Um, and it's getting frustrating, right? Because now Baz injured, so Arsens is going to be playing right wing, and we're going to be playing that left mid or left back that we got from Man U, the teenager with the long, weird emo looking hair that can't play football for shit because we didn't place Grimaldo.
Yeah.
We're going to lose nearest to City or United in the summer for 120 mil. We'll probably lose Antonio Silva because he's actually an amazing center back that can go to any team right
Yeah.
now. And we're going to be left with no spine, right?
You
And
guys gonna
what,
be
like
having
Otamendi and
to rebuild again. That's the thing. That's what the Portuguese league is. We build a player, they become great, we sell them, and then we're back to nothing. We're
yeah.
back at trying to find the next young guy to bring up and put him on the pedestal for him to sell out.
Well, but that's the thing, right? At least Benfica bought that young right wing from Argentina,
Yeah.
but haven't played him once. The center mid, Rochester, the minute we played him, he scored a goal, and then the second game we played him, he scored a goal,
Well,
and he looks amazing.
what I want to see from the Portuguese league is Sporting, Benfica, or Porto trying to win the actual Champions League, like trying to win, like actually getting
Yeah,
players just for that, you know,
yeah.
just for that, just like Real Madrid. Real Madrid's all about Champions League, Champions League, Champions League, and obviously the
Hmm.
league, but they want Champions League more than the league, right?
Yeah. Because for me, it's like
I want us
literally,
to do that too. I want us to
it's
have
not.
more seats to go to the Champions League, because our league is a good league. We
Hmm.
have a lot of a lot of big. I feel like we have bigger teams in Portugal than France does. France has one
Yeah,
super big team. The rest are like meh. Lil,
yeah. Like
Lil, and
literally, all of them fell off.
yeah.
Any
So
team that's good only is good for a few years. Monaco had that big rise with Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, and everything, and then they fell off.
yep.
Lille won that one year. They had some decent players, then they fall off because they get bought. Any French team that has young talent that's good gets instantly bought up by the Prem,
Or
like
yeah.
and stuff, and they just go. That's
We
it. Or
should do that too,
Germany.
though. We should buy those young players and start trying to win. You just have to convince this year that we're trying to rebuild the club to win trophies, not just to cultivate the young players to sell them off to the bigger clubs.
Well, yeah, because my thing is like literally Benfica wouldn't have been far off because last year we didn't lose against PSG. We did well. We could have Inter play annoying football, so we lost against them at home. But Benfica had an easy route and could have made it to a Champions League final last year
Mm-hmm.
against. Well, they could have beaten Inter, they could have beaten AC, and they could have been in the final. Like that was 100% a thing that they could have
Yeah.
done. But right again, if they held on to an Enzo, if they held on to Gonzalo, if they hold on to a Grimaldo, right, that they have a Neves in for another year, they have an Antonio Silva. And then that money that they still have from all the older sales actually bought some decent players. I like Ba in the back, right? But maybe a more expensive winger, maybe someone different. Like I like Mira's again, maybe a Cam like Koshu actually playing in Cam instead of a
Yeah.
Rafa, having these players rotate so they can actually play all the games and still keeping backup players like Enrico Rujan Musa that can score goals off the bench. Having all those assets, those pieces like City have, if you just do that on a little bit lower of a scale for Benfica, this season I guarantee we would have won. right?
Oh
But
yeah,
we
for
lost
sure.
stupid games because of stupid decisions and not replacing players. Now we're gonna lose even more players because we look bad. And it's
Hey,
instead of going up and being able to actually do well in the Champions League, we go out in the group stage. You know what I mean? It affects everything once you
yes.
just don't do the small things correct.
And right now, it's similar things happening with Porto. So now it's like today was a big game.
Yeah.
Porto versus Sporting. Porto was beating Sporting 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
We make two changes at the 80th minute. We took off Evan Nielsen, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then we took off Chico, I believe, Chico, Conceição's
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
And once we took those two players out, Gyokic or whatever his name is scores two
He's a
goals.
freak. He's a freak though.
Yeah, but right when we took those two players off, Porto fell apart. Nobody
You
could
think
do
they got
anything.
too defensive minded?
Sorry?
You think they got too defensive minded because you took off the attackers. It's not like you took
Yeah.
off any defenders or midfield. Like
Yeah.
you
We
took
got
off the two
like
players that wouldn't have done anything.
we brought on Taremi and Romero. And Romero like
Not amazing.
no. No, like he's an up and coming kid, yeah, but we haven't been playing him a lot and I feel like there's a reason for that.
Also, didn't Taremi already get sold?
Yeah, but he has to wait till the end of the season then he goes. Because
Okay, because I've
it
noticed.
wasn't during the transfer market. It's just his
Okay,
contract came up, so then he was a free agent, and then he just signed the contract. But he can't go there, right? He's still with Porto till the end of
he
the
still has
season.
to finish. I see. So, but that's why he hasn't been playing as much because
Yeah,
they know that he's not going to be there. So, an
yeah.
off the bench thing at the last minute is interesting to put on a goal scorer like that.
Well, the thing is though, like he hasn't been performing this year. Evan Nielsen has been stepping up
Yeah.
because Taremi wanted to leave last year, but then we wanted more because he deserved to be more. But then after, I think it was it Inter that bottom? I think it's
It was,
Inter.
yeah, something like
Um,
that. Like,
they they wanted him, but they didn't want to spend more money than they wanted, right? So Portugal's like, okay, fuck you. Like we want this amount of money because he was our lead goal scorer last year, and we won the league.
yeah, he
Well, it was sorry, it
or
was
no.
2 years ago though. But anyways, like that, and then they're like, no, fuck that. They looked at the contract. His contract's gonna be up soon, so there's no point. They just wait, and now look, they get him for free. So, and this was a big game because yesterday was the president voting for Porto. So
Yeah.
Pinto Costa versus Villas-Boas. Pinto Costa, like he's been reigning Porto for I think it was 46 years. He was in office for a long, long, long time, and he was great. Like I loved him, but the last couple of years hasn't been good. I don't know what happened. Maybe just like old age is getting to him, and then whatever. But we need someone new. That's why I really like Villas-Boas. Villas-Boas is one of my favorite managers. He managed Porto really well. I loved it. When I'm pretty sure when he was managing Porto, that's when we had Falcao, Hulk, young
Mm,
James Rodriguez. Like we had a phenomenal team. We could have won
yeah.
Champions League that like those years. I think we got pretty far, but just unlucky. But because we're still against like prime freaking like Ronaldo and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I think he's gonna do really well, and I think he'll fix up the club in a little bit. We're definitely in debt because we're selling all these players for so cheap. We're not making
Yeah,
any
that's
money.
the biggest. That's the
So
biggest thing for
now next
Porto.
year is gonna be tough because I think we're gonna be selling Evan Nielsen, probably Jan Pepe, um, and then Gonzalez as well because Gonzalez is really good. I like Antonio Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm pretty sure our goalkeeper Diego Costa is probably leaving too.
Yeah, I heard he's already. I think Italian teams are looking at him.
Yeah,
I think Arsenal looked at him as well. I know they already have Ramsdale and Raya, but they're looking for to buy like their
like a goalkeeper, like a main.
Yeah, I think they looked at Ramsdale as like a fix, and then they looked at Rhea as a fix
Yeah.
for this season, kind of thing.
So that's that. That's my take on it right now. Like it's gonna be tough right now. We're really in a rebuild era, so it's just gonna take some
That's
time. So I
why.
think it's gonna take like 2 years, 3 years for Porto to really start going out there. Because at the same time, I kind of want to say Song out, our manager, and
Hmm.
maybe get a new manager and just see how they bring like a new dynamic to the team. Because this year I wasn't really liking what Conceição was doing. But hey, if he has a vision, he has a vision. He stick to it, whatever, right? But I don't know. I think there was a little bit of a lot, well, not a little bit, a lot of politics behind it, just because of the whole presidency and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I think that had a big toll on Porto this year because like some fans got arrested because they all trashed Villas-Boas' house. Like they're like Pinta Costa supporters versus Villas-Boas. So like it was a whole thrashing within our own community. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, for me, like you said before, right? There's only one guaranteed Champions League spot, and then there's the playoff for second place, which makes no sense because we're changing to the league table format for next year. More clubs coming
yeah.
in.
But now there's
Who are these
more.
clubs? I'm not 100% sure yet.
They got more seats in Italy now. So Italy has one of the most seats now for Champions League. But if you look in Champions League, like all their freaking clubs were like hell made it far. So
Yeah, they always do good in club competition. It's funny because Italy's been reducing how well they play, to be honest.
I'm pretty
But
sure if you go to Europa League, isn't it all just Syria?
no,
Yeah.
Europe,
Okay, so
Europa,
look, Europa League has Atlanta now and
yeah,
Roma.
okay,
But
Roma,
before
yeah,
before it was Roma versus AC Milan.
yeah,
Um,
AC
and then there's also Atlanta, and then there's someone else.
was Florentina in it.
I'm trying to look. No, I guess not. I thought there was more.
I was gonna say there couldn't have been much more than that.
But this is also just because it was Europa League. Maybe I'm just mixing them up. Like that's already
All
three
right,
teams in Europa League, and then if you
Florentina's
go,
in the Conference League.
okay,
They're in the they can go to the final of the Conference League,
and
which
then
they
if
went
you
to finals last year. Like
then
there was an Italian team, Roma. Roma went to the finals. Roma won the Conference League the year before
yeah,
that. I think there was a an Italian team in the Euro Conference League, and there was Inter in the Champions League. So recently they've had all teams that go to the finals, so which makes sense why they're increasing the
yeah, and
slots.
then if you look in Champions League in the round of 16, they had Lazio and Inter, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Um, and then for the right here, they still had Napoli in Champions League. Um, and then here's AC Milan. So Napoli, I guess, didn't make it, or maybe I just missed it in the Europa League, cause or yeah, I don't think they just made it. But still, they had a lot of teams in the Champions League and Europa League, so that gives them a little bit more seats than we do. Because for some reason, like last year, or was it this year? Yeah, it was this year. We had Braga, we had Benfica, we had Porto. I'm pretty sure Sporting was here too, somewhere. No, no, we had Sporting in the Europa League, but we had three Portuguese teams in Champions League. And if we go to Europa League here, we had more. We had Sporting, and I'm pretty sure Gil Vicente. Or am I on crack? Oh no, Gil Vicente is freaking the conference. But still,
Yeah.
that's a lot of Portuguese teams that kind of made it, luckily. And they were doing decent, but Yeah, like it
See,
is what it
my only
is.
thing that makes no sense for me is okay, so Bundesliga has 4 spots, Serie A has 4 spots,
Spain has
um,
4 spots, like La Liga
everyone has 4 spots, La
and
Liga has 4 spots,
yeah, England, the Premier League.
has
Everybody
four
has it.
spots. And then there's the French league that we've been better than,
Yeah, and
right?
they have a lot. They
They
have
have
three.
3.
That makes no sense.
Right. So for me personally, we have like the one playoff spot, which most likely we're gonna win, which we usually do. But I think we should still have the 2 spots, right? The two
With
best
yeah,
teams in Portugal should be going with a playoff, and then if a Sporting or a Braga actually beat that team, they should be going like they have been.
yeah,
You don't increase the amount of teams, increase everything, and then also include, right, you're including shitty teams into that, but you're only really increasing some of the best teams in the best leagues and then some shit teams in the shit leagues. Why isn't the middle like, so French get one more, but it's going to be a team like it's going to be a team that's going to be absolutely terrible by next season, because I think
yeah.
like the French league table is just an absolute joke,
It
right?
is.
So
Brest is
yeah,
in second.
PSG, Monaco, and Brest.
Yeah, that's what
Brest
I'm
is.
saying.
I mean, Lille can get there, right? Lille can. They're only one
But at
point
the
off.
same
Lille can
time,
get the spot.
everybody's gonna be selling all their players, so it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah,
That's
but I
what.
mean, even Lille is like they have pretty good players, right? Like, but they're
Stop the
still not an
cap.
insane team, right? I look at this Brest team. I don't know one player on the thing other than Lala, and that's because I think he played for another thing and had a FIFA card once. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like for me, like the fact that Lyon's eighth, Marseille's seventh, Lens is sixth, Nice
that's the
is fifth.
thing,
Like
and
all these teams,
I
like
feel like we deserve more spots, but it is what it is. We just have to earn it. We have to show them that we earn it, and that's about it. That's why I want the Portuguese league to stop freaking doing like getting a good player and then just selling them right away. No, just freaking let's get a whole bunch of players and try to win trophies, not just the Portuguese league and the Portugal Cup and stuff like that. Try to go for the Europa League. Try to go for the Champions League. Try to go for all the Conference League. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Try to go for the
I mean,
Club World Cup.
the other problem is too though that okay, so we had Benfica and Sporting that then ended up in the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
We should be beating Marseille
Mm-hmm.
to make it to the semis. We should be. We should have
But
won
you
that.
guys got clapped
And
already.
then it
And
was
just
dumb. It
yeah.
was,
But hey, like
and
they
then
probably did their homework and they noticed that you guys are doing those changes that you were saying before, right?
well, literally, because I mean, again, the first leg we won 1-0, and then they just did the defensive, got the one goal because we were trying to hold off. We played stupid.
Yeah.
They beat us in pens, and even in pens we should have won. But again, we played like shit. Um, and Sporting against Atalanta, like Sporting only did 1-1 at home, which they should have. The way they've been playing, they should have beaten Atalanta because they're
They should
better
have
than that. And then
destroyed them.
and then they lost by 1 goal too, 2-1. When they went over there. And that's again they were winning the game 1-0, Gonzalez, and then they came back with Lookman and Sakma because they didn't concentrate at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
So realistically, again Liverpool lost to Atalanta 3-1. Atalanta's still playing good, but Atalanta's not an amazing team. Sporting should have beat them. Sporting could have beat a Liverpool, especially the way they're playing now. It could have been Sporting versus Benfica in the semis, right? And one team could have automatically went to the final. And even if we lost, at least we had a team in the final. That type of stuff is the reason why teams will get other spots. But now, right, Atalanta, Roma can both make a Europa League final. It could be two Italian teams, right? Again, it fits with the whole thing with Italian teams are doing good. If Fiorentina can make it to a final again, they could win. Roma was in the thing last year. If Roma makes two Europa League finals and a Conference League final, wins two of them, and they're not doing that good in the Italian league, but they're winning the competitions,
Yeah.
it justifies why they have 4 spots.
Yeah.
If Marseille makes it to this final, which they shouldn't, to be fair, it should be Atalanta beating them, and I think Leverkusen will beat Roma.
I think
So
Leverkusen is gonna win the whole thing. So
Yeah, I think Leverkusen's probably going to win the whole thing. But still, you have two teams that make it to the semis. One of them go into a final. And Marseille's in a there as well. Again, it's just showing how good they are. Conference League quickly. I'm gonna look at the four teams in the Conference League because this was an unexpected chat, but it was pretty good. Uh, Aston Villa should probably win. Olympiacos, Florentina, and Club Brugge.
Well,
Florentina should beat Club Brugge, and Aston Villa
I'm
should
pretty
beat
sure
Olympiacos.
Aston Villa
Again, you're
should win
still
the
getting
full
an
thing.
Italian team in the final.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I've been saying the whole time. The Italian in the league, like they're a force to be reckoned with. Like they just been freaking destroying everybody in every league, and not just like going to the finals and stuff, but it's just like they're in there. They're showing that
Yeah.
they're making it into all these clubs.
Roma is fifth, Atalanta sixth, and Fiorentina is eighth. And Napoli is ninth,
Yeah,
right? This is kind of looking like the French league where teams go good and go
but
bad.
that's
But the
because
thing is,
last year Napoli won the league and sold everyone,
yeah.
right?
But
And that's the big thing. That's the big dip. And now they're back in
but
that
Italy's still good.
reconstruction era, and it just shows that they can still go to all these stuff and actually win these, or not win, but like actually make it far in these competitions.
Yeah. For me, Italian league's still better now than the Spanish league after post Ronaldo, Messi, and all the players.
Yeah,
Because again, you're looking at a Barcelona that I mean, Girona's still second. City own it. I mean, that's why they're doing good. Atletico's hasn't been amazing. 64 points. They won the league a few years ago. But again, you have Athletic Club fifth, Real Sociedad sixth, Real Betis, Valencia eighth, Villarreal ninth. But these are all teams that have been up and down the table. Sevilla's all the way at 13th. That's a team that used to be doing good and competing sometime. Like the Spanish league's still good. I'm not gonna say it's not, but it's not what it used to be either
no, it's not.
anymore.
It's not. But
So
it is what it is.
the Prem is the real, you know,
The Prem
Super
has
League in a weird
always,
way.
yeah, the Prem has always been like that. But I feel like the Italian league is starting to come back to that golden era that they used to be in.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, and again, Leverkusen's gonna end up selling everybody too,
yep,
right? Just like how Dortmund sell players once they do good,
yep,
and it's gonna just be Bayern Munich again. So I feel like it's kind of one of those things like we got to enjoy it while it is because I think in the next few years we're gonna see a lot of the same thing. And actually, that was gonna be my last point on the Portuguese league, which is the only hope that I have for Benfica is that we have money and the other two teams don't,
yep,
and you guys are selling all your good players.
yep,
We're selling all our good players, and and Sporting selling all their good players, which is really they only have a few good players in a system that's annoying to play against. Once they sell all the good players, and Sporting doesn't have anybody that can score a freaking goal again, and Porto lose key players in good positions, and Benfica sell their good players, the only thing I'm happy knowing is that at least we're going to be having 300 million in the bank at the
oh
end,
yeah, that's the thing,
minimum.
because we're in
110
debt,
for Joel
and we're trying to clean up what Pisa Costa did to us right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's
we already started. Again, we have the young Argentinian. Di Maria already has the new contract. Even if Rafa goes, um, even if João Neves goes, even if Antonio Silva goes, uh, again, we have good players. We have still David Neres. We have this Marcus Leonardo. We have the young Argentinian guy. We
yeah,
have the young Argentinian center mid. We still have we have hope. I feel like we have hope
yeah.
where you guys like I feel like the next 2-3 years is going to be very down times.
It is. That's what I was saying. That's why I think with the new presidency, it's gonna take us like 2 to 3 years just to get back up.
Yeah.
But
What do you think about Sporting?
I
If they sell Gjorkas,
I
if they
think
sell like one or two other good players,
I think they're just gonna go back to what Sporting normally is in third place.
third place,
Yeah,
the third place
third
team.
place or fourth, because Braga's been playing well.
Braga's not
So
bad. Yeah.
that's it.
Really,
Anyways, I gotta dip.
no
It's my
problem.
bedtime. Gotta wake up 4:30. So it was a good chat. We've been live for what? 79 minutes. So it's been
Yeah,
a long,
solid.
long chat. Yeah, we'll talk about it again. Our next episode will be next week. We might have
Hmm.
a special guest. You never know.
Yeah,
We'll
might
keep
be
you.
lining that up.
Yeah. So yeah, there. That's basically that.
And that'll be first round of Champions League.
Yeah. So we're
So
always
we'll
gonna be talking
we'll
about the Champions League every single week. There's always Champions League. So we'll be talking about that, and then after that, it's gonna be soon just the title races, more about the Portuguese league, and maybe transfers. Transfers gonna be kind
I
of
think transfers is
coming
gonna
up
be
soon.
big.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely before the Euros, right?
Yeah.
As well, because we're gonna be transitioning into Euros, which I'm excited to get into international competition.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't wait.
well, Portugal has a good group. I mean, we should get out of the group easy.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll talk about this next week. I hope everybody has a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Pieces.